Here we go. You are now listening to Random Ramblings with Rob.
Yay!
Yay! Boom, boom, yeah! Boom, boom. Look at it. Boom, boom. Boom. Boom, boom, boom.
What up, everybody? This your boy B Rob, and I am back with another edition of the Random Ramblings with Rob podcast. First and foremost, I'd like to thank you, the listener, for coming back each and every week, or however you listen to podcasts. And if you're a new listener, I'd like to thank you oh so much for giving my show a try. And if you're a new listener, you probably hear out of boredom too, because the coronavirus is going on and everybody's stuck in the house supposedly, or supposed to be, and you ain't got shit else to do, so you probably looking into getting into some new stuff and whatnot. So if the coronavirus brought you here, I appreciate it. It's a hell of a way to get you over here, having me caress your ear strands and all that other stuff. I don't know what I was going to say. I was going to say ear dicks, but I don't want to be stroking nobody's ear dicks like that. But anyway, if you're here, I appreciate you for listening. And if anybody recommended you to me, I would normally say give them a crisp high five, but we're supposed to be 6 feet apart from each other. So go ahead and do that alternative method that I always bring up. Use your social media app of choice to craft them a well thought out DM telling them thank you for recommending you to me. Speaking of social media, the Random Ramblings with Rob is on a whole bunch of different platforms, to include Twitter at 3R Show, Instagram at the 3R Show, YouTube. I got a couple of videos up there. I got some new ones coming soon. Look for 3R Show, and Facebook, facebook.com/3R Show. And for anything that I may have forgot to include my guest list and many other things, you can go to randomrob.com and find all the things pertaining to the show. Now, I have a guest as per usual, and this guest, I usually do a long contrived intro and everything to introduce them, but they're going to introduce themselves because in the pre-chat, they already started plugging their stuff and we wasn't even recording proper. So joining me is, and then I pass it to you. Oh, you done dropped some shit. What?
Yeah, so I go by Maximum Carnage on the internet. I'm a Twitch streamer for Team Rank Star, which is like a content/competitive digital card game team. How's my mic sound, by the way?
Yeah, my mic sounds nice. You're nice. You sounding good.
Okay. And I guess I wanted to hit you up. I've left you kind of on the back burner for a long time because I'm still not. And you've probably seen it. I'm very shaky on the Maximum Carnage name.
Yeah.
So I've I don't want to do a podcast under that moniker, but I haven't changed it, so I'm still stuck.
Yeah.
Waiting for Disney to throw the copyright book down on me.
So you just use it till they tell you to lose it.
I'm telling you. Yeah. So I mean that's pretty much it. I should, and soon here I should be writing a card game review for such an article for the Inked Gaming blog, which they make custom mouse pads, gaming, dog barking. Hang on one second.
Yeah, they make all that stuff. They make dog bark and everything.
Yeah, and so they make custom gaming pads, mouse pads. Just, that kind of stuff in general. Okay. And that's my main plug. I don't know. I don't know where you want to go from there.
Yeah. What is your what is your gaming thing like? Do you only play the one game? Because I think you was telling me about Hearthstones when we met in person and all kind of stuff.
So like that. my main game is Hearthstone. Which is a digital card game very similar to Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
But I dabble in plenty of other games here and there. And the team I play for, they practically, if it's a digital card game, they cover it. So I'm pretty linked into all the card games in some form or another.
Yeah. So what was the first one you ever played? I mean, I'm not talking about digitally or anything, but obviously you had to start with physical card games because online card games weren't always readily available.
I guess I started with the Pokemon card game. And, everybody and their uncle in high school, middle school, probably especially our age, got into that. Well, maybe a little bit younger than you, but got into that at some point. And then from there, I linked up with the local, card game shop, and they got me into Magic the Gathering.
Okay.
And I always said, that's about the 90s. I was 11 years old. Good players weren't around. So, whenever I went to play in the tournaments up in Houston and stuff,
yeah,
to get their tour points, I was always the one ruling the card shop.
Okay. So I can remember playing Magic the Gathering and everything, and I thought it was cool as far as I had never seen anything like that because I wasn't really into that type of stuff. But when I seen the actual art for the cards and everything, I thought it was interesting, and just not so much for the gameplay. I was just interested in having the cards. And then when I tried to actually play the game, it's to me, it seemed a little bit too involved. So I never really stuck with it. But then they years later, they would come out with the electronic version for iTunes or Apple or whatever, and I would play the shit out of that.
What electronic version for Apple?
Yeah, it came to the App Store. They made an app out of it.
When was this?
This was years ago, because I can remember whenever jailbreaking your iPhone became popular. That was around the time the app came out, because I had a jailbroken iPad, and I would download that game, and since my phone or tablet was jailbroken, I didn't have to buy none of the packs for the game. So I would kind of cheat the system and get all the packs for free.
What the heck? I actually am unaware of this completely, this Apple version of the game.
Well, I mean, I'm probably sure it was on Android and everything too, but it was a app in the App Store. Right now, I think it may have came out on, the App Store before it even hit consoles, because I know Magic the Gathering now is on consoles and everything.
Yeah, they've released Magic the Gathering Arena, which is a free-to-play, I mean, as much as it can be, version of Magic the Gathering, where you can get an in-game currency where you can buy the cards. Yeah.
I mean, that's what it was. I mean, I'm in the App Store right now trying to look it up. They don't even have it on here anymore.
So they had... Yeah, they've done lots of things with that over the years. And they had Magic Online, which was a huge failure. And then they have Magic Arena, which is newer and a lot more popular.
Word. So that's probably why you missed it then, because I'm not seeing it in the App Store at all. And I can vividly remember having this thing because I played it for hours and hours. I took it on a trip and was playing it and whatnot. But yeah, that's fucking weird.
It was like some trial they had when they were trying to figure out how to get into the gaming market.
Yeah.
Because Hearthstone, funny enough, it's almost a Magic clone, I'd say, in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
But what it did was it took Magic Online, which was failing, kind of polished it up a little bit, and made it in a form that was more easy to play on your mobile phone. And you talked about how involved Magic is. They took a lot of the stuff that is harder on a computer.
Okay. Or because you was talking about goddamn, what was it just now? Fuck, I forgot. I lost it already. But it's as far as Hearthstone and everything, and you being a part of, what was the streaming team?
Team Rank Star, yeah.
So how'd that come to be?
I'm kind of known on Twitter for talking a lot of shit, which, I mean, that's how we found each other.
Yeah.
We've had threads that have gone hundreds and hundreds of messages long. But I ran into... I mean, I'm more popular than a lot of people who play games on Twitter, funny enough. It doesn't translate to Get into content creation. Kind of a failed podcast that I'm not going to talk about because that was kind of a failure.
Oh, no. You mentioned it, so it must be aired out. What was this project?
It was just interviewing people about Hearthstone. I don't know. I didn't get the format right. I was trying to compete with there's a lot of Hearthstone podcasts out there.
Word.
And so I was trying to get in there, and just mine wasn't nearly as good.
Yeah.
So I kind of backed out of it.
As there is many podcasts in general out there, period.
Yeah. And so they hit me up to write a few articles, and I did. And funny enough, I've been on hiatus from writing articles for Rankstar for a while. I'm about to kick back up, but Hearthstone kind of screwed its competitive scene up a little bit. And so that really killed the content for a while.
I mean, so what happened? I mean, I'm not in the know with the Hearthstone community. Elaborate. What's going on?
Oh man, so this is kind of a complaint about digital card games in general, and I mean it's from a lot of factors. So Hearthstone is a card game akin to Magic, and they have a competitive scene. They actually have a really big competitive scene, like $1 million prize pools are going around. But they used to have a system where there was a middle level and they had third party competitive scene. So you had a lot of really good mid-level competitive players.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Blizzard, the people who make Diablo, World of Warcraft, they're the ones that make Hearthstone. I don't know, and they're controlled by Activision, so I don't really know where the problem started. But essentially, they cut out third-party competitive scene. So they took DreamHack. They took DreamHack, which was the kind of the be-all, end-all of Hearthstone tournaments, at least mid-level. They took that away, and then they made it to where only 48 people were in the competitive scene. And you have a pool of 48 people who play against each other all the time for prize pools. And only a few of them fall out, every quarter maybe or something. But every year, it's so long and so little people that unless you're either a casual player or you're these top 48 people, and there's no one in between. And so they kind of did that, and it really destroyed the Hearthstone scene, at least the competitive side. And then but they kind of started reeling that back out. So there has actually been some third-party people doing tournaments at DreamHack again. But there was a year there where there was no Hearthstone, except for either the casual people, which is millions of people, or the Twitch, which it is it was bad. But so I just want to say they've made changes this year, and so the popularity, the buzz is kicking back in.
Okay, so what are some of your favorite aspects of Hearthstone as compared to Magic and whatnot?
Price.
Okay, very well. Enough said.
Magic the Gathering is very expensive, and that's kind of why I got out of it. I mean, because once you kind of get out, getting back in is way harder.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was like, I'm never going to drop the few hundred to thousands of dollars to get back into this hobby. There's no way, for a card game. But Hearthstone, if you're really astute, you could get away. And they kind of ruined that. They made it a little bit more expensive within the last year. You can spend $80 every 4 months and be caught up on everything. They've reeled that back in. So they took last year, which apparently they were doing pretty bad. They've changed a lot. They've kind of reeled in the competitive scene coming back a little bit better, and they've adjusted the buying system so it's going to be cheaper again.
Okay.
And then, but then that, on top of that, you're getting your, Magic the Gathering, Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon fix without spending the money.
So, Yu-Gi-Oh. That was like, I think
they're all the same game.
Yeah, I know they're all the same, but Magic was like the origin for me because was there anything before Magic?
No, and on that note, everything about 90% of the card games out there are Magic the Gathering clones, including Hearthstone. So there was nothing before Magic, and there's still almost nothing but Magic. It just depends on how you want them to feed it to you.
Okay. Because that was even Pokemon to an extent is the same thing, right?
Yeah, so you put energy on Pokemon instead of playing lands, that is your domain.
Yeah.
And then you use the lands to play stuff, and in Pokemon you put energy to Pokemon, and then you use that to do attacks with the Pokemon. Very
well. Now, so you think Magic being the origin of a lot of these card games or whatnot, do you think they have stake in all these properties and whatnot? Like, so do you think they have a patent on anything to where, like, if anybody uses it, they got to get paid royalties or some shit like that?
See, I really don't understand that, but no. All these clones, I don't know.
Well,
they don't do the land thing like Magic.
Well, so I guess it's kind of like what we had here most recently when we had PUBG originally, and then Fortnite came in and took over everything. And then, they have Paladins and all these other games with the Battle Royale mechanic. Most recently, Call of Duty just released their Battle Royale style game mode and everything. So I guess it's the same thing in that aspect as it was with Magic. So as far as Battle Royale video games go, I've known PUBG to be the first of its kind, but there may be something that precedes that, and I don't know.
Yeah, and they all, right, and then they all kind of copy it, but I don't know if anybody's paying anybody royalties.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that was just kind of interested me for a minute, because I was just like, Magic the Gathering was the first, and then, all these other games kind of preceded and whatnot, and you don't really hear too much about Magic the Gathering anymore. So I'm just thinking like, I'm the first, so I got something that I hold over the rest of these that, I'm getting paid for. That's why I ain't really worried about me so much.
It's as big as it's ever been.
Mm-hmm.
It's I think with the online, it's been making kind of a bit of a comeback.
Okay.
But it's as big as it's ever been. The scene's still there.
So what do you think about now, though? We are in the midst of this pandemic and whatnot. Coronavirus. A lot of people are staying in. And as I alluded to at the top of the show, I might be having new listeners because we locked down and bored and trying to find some different ways to entertain ourselves. Has your gameplay productivity increased since all this has been going on?
I've still been working. I drive a delivery van for a cupcake company. So
you was very essential then.
Since food's still in business, I've still been in business.
Okay, yeah, because you are essential. You need to bring me the cupcakes.
I'm telling you, man, it's nuts. I feel it's crazy because I'm on the road. I'm just like, man, I'm gonna touch one of these gas pumps out here, and these truckers are gonna give me some coronavirus.
Yeah, for real. It's just like I've used hand sanitizer more in the past week or so than I have ever used in my whole life.
Same thing, man. I can smell it on my hands.
Yeah.
It's just they're so sanitized.
For real. It's just like I find myself doubling up as well. So I work security, so I have to deal with people and passing their belongings through the x-ray machine and all kind of other crap like that. So before they come in, I put gloves on, and we have a sanitation station. So it's just like this little thing that you would go to the gym, and they got the little pull-out sanitizer wipes. So I was like, before you can show me your ID, go over there and clean your hands off. Then present me with your ID. Then put all your things in this container that I sprayed down with Lysol prior to, and then we pass it through the machine and everything. And then I sanitize my gloves after. And then when I'm off the machine, off my rotation, I take my gloves off. I go to the bathroom. I wash my hands with soap and water. And then when I leave out of the bathroom, I put sanitizer on them again. And then if I have to go to use the bathroom, when I go into the bathroom, I wash my hands with soap and water. I use the bathroom. Then I wash my hands with soap and water again. Then when I leave out the bathroom and go back to my station, I put sanitizer back on. Then I put gloves back on that.
Same thing here. Oh, man, I was like, I was wondering if I was the only one that washes before you touch your junk.
Yes. I don't want the corona penis.
It gets me rots and falls off, man.
Oh man, that was the most horrible thing. I mean, that would just be your life in general after that. I mean, nothing but Hearthstone. You know what I mean? It's just like, be like, what's the point? What's even you? I'll just play Hearthstone all day.
be a castrati of the internet, huh?
Hell yeah. So, I mean, other than Hearthstone and whatnot, I mean, you did say you dabble in a couple of other games and whatnot. What else? What is your number two? Because obviously Hearthstone is number one. What's your number two?
Oh man. So aside from, let's see, so top games right now are going to be Legends of Runeterra, which is the basis of League of Legends, Magic the Gathering Arena, which is their Magic the Gathering Online, and Hearthstone. Funny enough, I was playing a ton of, what's the name of that game now? Can't think of it because they died. They killed themselves. Elder Scrolls Legends.
Mm-hmm.
But the company has stopped all new expansions and such. And for a card game, that essentially means death. Because in a card game, there's best decks, and then there's going to be no new decks. So everybody playing is just going to eventually drop off.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so honestly, I'm going to be writing a column for the Inked Gaming blog, to which I'll be playing every digital card game there is and reviewing it. So right now, I don't have a second, but all the digital card games are kind of my second.
Yeah, damn. I mean, so you say you're going to play all of them and write a review?
Yeah.
So how many are there?
Okay, a lot. So your main ones are going to be like the ones I mentioned. There's Gwent, which is a really phenomenal card game, and funny enough, they're the least like Magic the Gathering out of all these card games we've talked about so far. All of them are going to have like a mana system.
Yeah.
Gwent doesn't. Gwent, you pretty much play your cards as you draw them. I shouldn't just say it like that, but there's a way you play your cards. It's not mana based.
Okay.
And then you got like more independent games. There's Eternal, which is the cheapest card game out there is. That's kind of a Magic clone in its own. There's Mythgard, which is a new kind of more indie game. They have a system where you discard cards from your hand,
mm-hmm.
as opposed to playing the land like you do in Magic.
Mm-hmm.
There's Kaza, Voices in the Dark, which is one out of, I want to say, Argentina. And they're developing. They're still in development. There's Shadowverse, which is like, we call it Weebstone because it's like an anime version of Hearthstone from Japan.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's way more indie ones. I can't think of the one right now. But there's War of Omens.
There's a lot then.
Yeah. I can. There's 2 or 3 more that are escaping my mind right now.
So you're going to go through all of those and the expansion packs, and you're going to review all of that.
The goal's to kind of like play it, give it maybe a week or 2, like a good college try, and then see how it is from like a new player perspective,
mm-hmm.
and then like see how kind of the economy is, how the game plays, what you can get for like spending no money, maybe a little bit of money. So like what maybe budget like. Oh.
Okay, so that would be my follow-up question.
Scrolling through Twitter.
Yeah. So that would be my follow-up question for you then. So I mean, you're doing this for the God damn it! I know stars on it. What is it?
This is going to be for Inked Gaming blog.
Inked Gaming. All right, I wanted to say Rockstar for the other motherfucker.
And then there's Ranked Star. Yeah,
Ranked Star.
They have a competitive team and a content team for all the major card games.
Mm-hmm. So now, as far as for the inked blog or whatnot, are you getting paid for this? I mean, if you're allowed to disclose.
Yeah, I mean, I shouldn't really disclose that. We're gonna leave that, but usually these gigs have been compensated.
Okay, very well. Because I'm like, I mean, you putting yourself out there to review all these products because you're gonna actually have to spend money on some of this stuff. No.
So the goal is to not spend money.
Okay.
And see, that's the one thing I like about digital card games is a lot of it has an in-game currency that makes it free.
Ah, okay.
Although to get like all the stuff, you typically have to spend money.
Yeah, that's a lot of grind.
Eternal. If you want to get into it for free, play Eternal. Mm-hmm. That's going to be because their price point is so low. Even if you spend money, you're going to spend barely any money, and their in-game economy is so generous. It's nice.
Word. I mean, it is just like any game that we're talking about, going back to like Call of Duty and Fortnite and all these other things. They have an in-game system, but it's just like that's highly predicated on you playing the game, though. So I mean, that's
also,
how they keep
I would even say that, like with Call of Duty, with a lot of games, except for like Fortnite, the really free ones, you actually like Call of Duty. They release map packs occasionally that I think cost money, or at least they have in the past. I don't know how it is now.
The new one, all that stuff is free.
Okay,
it's just like
yeah, they actually have that Battle Royale is free.
Yeah, all that's free. It's just in game you earn currency, like how you were saying, but that's just like a hell of a grind to get that currency. And then whatever you buy in game is purely cosmetic. I mean, it has no really weight on the game. It doesn't give you too much of an advantage. So much, just kind of like Fortnite. I mean, all that shit is just skins and, funny colors and all kind of crap like that. I mean, it doesn't really give you an advantage in the game. It's just something cool to have, an aesthetic. Because I got on my kids about this shit.
Yeah.
Because look,
I feel you there.
Yeah, because so they get their own money. I mean, it's their money. They do with it what they wish. So a lot of their accounts are linked to my account. So they get these gift cards and shit, $20, $30, $50 here and there. And they buy games with them or iTunes apps. And, you know how kids do. So I'm getting these billing things from their account in my email talking about $10 here, $20 here on Fortnite. And I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm going to them and I'm telling the kid, I'm just like, yeah, it's your money, but we got to make smarter choices here. Let's think about this. When you spend real money on fake money in these games, does it help you win? Or is it just...
But you see, they got to get that one cosmetic that you have to play, 80 hours to get.
Yeah.
And they got to get it ahead of time.
Well, that's what I was trying to break down to him. I was like, so you spent real money on fake money for a game that doesn't give you an advantage. I was like, you just got it because it looks cool. I was like, does it give you superpowers? Does it freaking give you extra speed? Does it do anything extra other than look cool? And they'd be like, no. So I was like, do you think that is a smart purchase? Because it does nothing for you. It's just like you being you in this house right now. You do the same thing that you do every day. You have, nothing extra about you, but you change clothes and you think you can fly out of the second story window and across the neighborhood and shit. Nah, it doesn't work like that. You're still the same regardless if you change your clothes or not.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to get them not to spend their real money on fake money. But at the same time, I play NBA 2K and they have virtual currency, and I have been known to take advantage of a sale every now and then. So
yeah, it's a thing, isn't it?
See, but like that is different for me because you actually enhance your character when you use virtual currency in NBA 2K. You can make them a better 3-point shooter. You can make them stronger. You can make them faster. It actually adds to the game. It actually gives you an advantage to where Fortnite it does not. But I mean, I haven't said that to him because I would be contradicting myself and I would make myself look like a dick. But I haven't. That was been years ago or so, to where I finally got hip to the game. I was just like, I could just play the games that I really enjoy, that I really love, and I can get compensated from my gameplay. So I just play the games and they give me money that I don't have to spend real money to get the fake money, and I just use them as need be. It's hard though. I understand. But it's just the things we got to pass to these kids, man. It's just like, don't spend your money on that shit, because that $20 that you spent on that could have been 20 double cheeseburgers.
You're gonna get them the double cheeseburger anyway, right? I mean,
no, I'm not getting them shit. And that's another thing that I preach to them as well. Is just like, I ain't gonna be here all the time to buy you double cheeseburgers and shit. So I mean, you got to think about yourself sometimes.
But so that I stream Hearthstone on Twitch under my Twitch name is Maximum Carnage HS. And man, so this I guess something I wanted to kind of cover was like Twitch streaming is nuts.
Yeah, so is it going up or going down?
Oh man, so you gotta really give credit to a lot of these like hardcore Twitch streamers. I mean,
before you even go any further, because like I've been frequenting Mixer or whatever, because I play Call of Duty on the Xbox, and I'm just going through the popular pages, the ones they recommend or put on the homepage and whatnot. I went to one guy's page, and he had a stream on there for 11 freaking hours. And I was just like, what in the hell is you doing in front of a camera playing games for 11 hours? I mean, well, obviously I just said that you're playing games, but for 11 hours? 11 hours?
When you're making a wage at it.
True. But like, I'm looking at some of the monetization guidelines. It was just like, you have to do X amount a week in however many hours. And I think he encompassed all the requirements in that one video for 11 hours.
See, I don't know the monetization of Mixer, but like, Twitch, you had to get 3 average viewers, mm-hmm. which is to get their first tier.
Mm-hmm.
And man, so yeah, but yeah, man, it's rough because to maintain like a normal life and stream.
Yeah,
it's a lot of work.
It is.
And I mean, I can imagine the same kind of with the podcast, huh?
Yeah, because I mean, I preach about it all the time. It's just like, I work 12-hour days, and then I come home, and then I got to take care of kids and everything else. And then, if I have an appointment, I got to worry about, doing the podcast stuff, editing the podcast, putting the podcast out there, promoting the podcast. All my off time and in between times when I have breaks at work, because you want to engage, you want to be socially interactive, but also at the same time, you don't want to get fired from your job over a tweet. So, yeah, it's highly involved.
And so what really gets me, man, is like trying to be entertaining when you stream. And it's like,
yeah. So
and when you do podcasts, I'm like, I talk so much crap in person, and then when I stream, when I get on that camera, I'm like the most zombified. I'm just like, oh, they're watching me.
Yeah, see, and that's the thing though. It's just like, I play games to play games.
Yeah.
I'm not worried about trying to entertain somebody, but because honestly, I mean, as I told you, I do the Mixer thing, but I'm not sitting there talking to the camera and doing all this other stuff. Most of the time, I don't even have the fucking camera on. I just have my mic on and I'm just playing the game, and I let it run. I accumulate those hours because they give you, I guess like I don't know if it's currency or whatever the fuck it is, but they give you points for however many minutes per stream and whatnot. So I go to work 12 hours. I come home, for about like, this is like when school was going on proper. I come home about an hour and a half, chop it up with the kids. They go to sleep. I shower up. I get on the game for about like an hour and a half until my wife come home from work, because she comes home later in the evening. And then after that, I turn the game off. Me and the wife chop it up. Then we go to sleep, and the cycle starts over the next day. And then that is cut in half or even eliminated completely if I have to record a podcast. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, doing that, work. Yeah. So when you record a podcast, it's pretty similar.
Yeah. Here we are. We just having a conversation about everyday life. Which everybody I feel can relate to, because, you have your people that you hang out with and you talk with and you talk about things. That's not really out of the norm. Right now, we just having people listening in to our phone call, pretty much.
Yeah.
Old school party lines and shit, right? So, yeah, as far as podcasting, if it's strictly an audio medium, I believe is way different than anything a streamer's doing. They're similar in a way, because you're creating content, you coming up with stuff or whatever. But when you're streaming, you're trying to play a game, then you're trying to compose thought to give to people that may be watching you, or you just being overly exaggerated about yourself. Because just like how you saying, when I play a game, I'm fucking silent because I'm concentrating on the goddamn game. And to think about something to say to somebody that may be watching me play this game, it kind of takes me out of the game because I'm concentrating on that now. It's like I'm trying to split myself to do two different things, and it's just fucking me up. My kill death ratio is horrible.
Yeah, so with me at least, it's a turn-based game. You have a timer, but you can kind of compose your thought as you're doing it.
Do you talk mad shit when you're waiting on your turn?
Man, I need to turn that part of my brain into it.
Yeah.
Because
you're thinking, you're strategizing when it's off you, because all right, you waiting on them to freaking come up with their move, and then you're trying to figure out a counter or set up for 2 moves after this move and everything. It's like chess. And to sit there and talk shit or think of some witty shit to say is taken away from your process. And, I get that.
But, yes, it's a thing. And take away from your process. I don't know.
It's a talent for sure. And, I was talking mad shit about it in episodes past. Why are you going to sit there and watch a motherfucker play a game? And here I am doing similar shit. But,
Well, so at least, okay. And I'm like, man, every time I hear you talk about that. So, at least with, I almost feel you when it's like a game like Witcher or like one of those RPG games that's a story that you want to experience yourself. I'm always like, why would you watch that because that's a story you experience and elaborate on.
But see, and that was the thing that what really turned my thought process around on it, because you talk about Witcher here. And when I had the episode with Sean Mackey, the local artist here in Houston, I had the epiphany. I even said it on the show. Final Fantasy VII, I never played that physically myself, but I had a good friend that I would go to his house, just about every day, and he would play that game religiously. And, being there in the room with him, I watched him play that whole game. I know everything about the game through watching somebody else play it. Yeah. And here we are, 2020, and people are having those same experiences via Twitch, via Mixler, and whatever other platforms. They are watching people play these games that they're interested in, but really don't want to feel like going through all the hullabaloo and doing all that shit themselves. Because I've played freaking, what's that shit? Fallout 3. I found that game on accident. I never knew what Fallout 2 was. I never knew what Fallout was in general. I was on deployment, and this sounds weird. I was in Iraq. And I went to the freaking, the exchange there, the store. It's like, we can buy items and everything. And stage of the freaking war and everything. I mean, we real comfortable over in Iraq. They got Burger King,
Yeah.
Taco Bell, and all kind of shit. So we good. I went in there, seen Fallout 3 because I played every game that I had there because I had my Xbox with me, and I was bored. I was looking for something that new or whatever, and I seen Fallout 3. Didn't even read it. I flipped over the case. Seen first person, seen a guy, how the first person shooters look. They have the hands and the guns. So I was like, oh shit, it's like Call of Duty. I can play this. And then I took it there. I loaded it up and I was like, God damn, they talking a lot for a first person shooter. And then I was like, oh, this is not what that is. And then
you hit square or something. You bring up the HUD and you click on a face.
yeah, I was like, oh, this is not like Call of Duty. But I wind up playing that game to completion multiple times, going to Nuketown and, saving it and then going right back around and then blowing that bitch up. And, so I enjoyed that. I played every nook and cranny of that game. And then when it came to Fallout 4 and other games like that, I was like, I can't put the energy in that shit no more. I can't even go back and play Fallout 3.
Man, so I play card games, and you can get in there and play like one match or 10.
Mm-hmm.
But like, man, getting into a game with a story and you gotta sit there and pay attention. Oh, dude, I can't do it anymore.
Yeah, I just want to.
Come here. Let me grab this dog.
Yeah, grab the doggy.
Yeah, come here. Sheena, they know her well on my stream because she all day. Anybody walks anywhere near the house, she'll be on top of them.
Shit, people have come to know my child because every time I'm in here doing a video recording or whatever it is, coming here, hey, what you doing? I was like, what it look like I'm doing? I'm in front of the microphone and I got headphones on.
But so card games, at least like Hearthstone, you can sit there and you can put 15 minutes or 4 hours into it.
Mm.
So for me, it makes it so much easier to get into it.
What's been your best streak, like continuous wins or whatnot without loss?
So I call myself a rank 5 scrub, which is like kind of middle between really good and good. Mm. So I play at rank 5. I mean, it's like the top 5% of players.
Okay. So
I can't break that top 2%. I can't break that top 1%.
So what do you think you're missing?
Time.
Okay, true. I mean, that's true for anything and whatnot. The person that has the more time to put into it usually is the better player. But then again, you get those ones that are just natural.
And I shouldn't just say time. There's a lot of people that study this game pretty in depth.
Yeah.
So there's some skill involved too. That there's some like training involved that I'm not exactly on top of.
Yeah, because I can remember, like, I'm playing Call of Duty now, but the time before this current Call of Duty, the last time I played a Call of Duty game was Black Ops 2.
I was going to say Modern Warfare too.
Yeah, well, see, that was a long time ago in either regard. But getting back into it now, and then with this new Call of Duty, they injected older maps into it. So it gives it a real nostalgic feel and whatnot. And it don't have like all this Halo mechanics and I'm double jumping and all this other crazy shit. But what I find about this game that I wind up turning to enjoy is I learn just about every game that I play. So I'll go into a certain map and I'll see somebody doing something and I'll be like, oh, I never even thought about it. They'll be up on a perch somewhere that I would have never normally thought about perching up on.
Yeah.
You see somebody, you know how you catch the one motherfucker that's trying to position themselves somewhere, then you just, kill them and shit. And I was like, I would have never thought about coming over in this area. Or with them, if you have any type of scope or magnification on your weapons, it puts off a glint from a distance.
Oh, wow, that's new.
Yeah, so you wind up finding people positions and like, then you go over there after you kill them, or if they kill you, you try to figure out how the hell they did that and how the hell they got up there. So I mean, you learn something new from these different maps and players and everything. They got one board on there. I'm not going to disclose what it is in case you try to get up here and take my technique. They got out of bounds zones. So this one is right on the fringe of the out of bounds zone. If I just take one step to the left, I'm out of bounds. If I take one too far back, I'm out of bounds. But if I stay right here in the sweet spot, I'm on the edge and I'm still in the game. And I just be picking motherfuckers off. And it take them a while to figure it out. But by the time they figure it out, I'm still picking their ass off or I'm gone to somewhere else. And I found that because somebody got me from there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, man. But before we get too far away from Twitch, one thing I wanted to say was, so for me, like, the story games are a little bit different, but with the competitive games, even Fortnite and Call of Duty to an extent, you can watch players that are better at the game and they talk about the way they play.
Yeah, yeah.
And it puts you in a mindset, or it gives you techniques you wouldn't have thought of before. Because especially with card games, figuring out how to count cards, how to determine what's in their hand is a skill that's not always intuitive.
Yeah. And then, like, I imagine that would be kind of harder because a lot of these decks vary and then you got all these different packs and everything that you can put in there.
Yeah. So you got to learn the meta game, as they call it.
Yeah.
And another thing is, like, so for Twitch, a lot of ways, we all hung out in the AOL,
yes,
MSN chat room,
ICQ
and, like,
Messenger and all the other crap.
Those don't really exist anymore. So you got to think for a lot of these kids, man, it's their new AOL.
Well, but then again, I mean, it's evolved. I mean, it's still there. It's just we're not too privy to it because we older. But Discord is that thing. Discord, goddamn WhatsApp, and all these other motherfucking places. That's their daggone Yahoo Messenger and ICQ and Yahoo Chat and all that stuff. That's what they've changed to.
All right, here's one for you. Do you ever remember Stickam?
I do not.
It was a chat room like MSN. It might still be around, but there was 8 slots where you could click and put your camera/mic on, and you could have 8 people on camera/microphone talking while everyone else had to type.
Oh.
So that was a thing, and this is like in my college days, so like 10-ish years ago, a little bit more than 10. I used to be, my friend used to be on there, I used to be on there, and we would go in there and play and plug our guitar and put the mic right up to our guitar amps and like shred guitar in those rooms and watching people rip off their headphones.
Yeah.
Like,
see, you reminded me of that. That was another interesting thing about you that it just came to my mind with you saying that. When we met there at the Lone Star Brewery or.
Yeah, we talked about me. I used to play music.
Exactly. Yeah, you play guitar in a tutu or naked sometimes or some shit. Yeah, like that.
So I used to be one of the craziest musicians out here in Houston, playing like the punk rock, like I don't want to say Black Flag. It's a little too like out of date, but the rock, the hard rock, punk, not quite metal. That if you ever heard the term crossover, it was probably very close, akin to crossover punk.
Okay, so I mean, how long have you been playing guitar and whatnot?
So I actually went to school for guitar. Funny enough, years and years ago. I haven't really ever done anything with it, and I'm not. That's the drama dealing with that. Dealing with a band is like being married to like 4 guys you're not having a intercourse with, right? So like you have to deal with them. They're crying. You have to deal with their emotions. And it's just like, oh my god, like I didn't sign up for all that. And that's kind of what led me into Twitch streaming, was getting out of that. But yeah, I've played guitar since I was 17. So 13, 14 years.
Word.
I was really into, and I'm pretty rusty now, but I used to be into playing violin and flute pieces, funny enough, by like Baroque composers, classical people, on electric guitar. So like the shred guitar, but playing like some Bach, or some Handel. So I was one of those people, neoclassical type people.
So you playing flutes and guitars and everything,
but on guitar. I'd be playing flute pieces on guitar.
Oh, say I see. So all right, I got your gimmick for your Twitch stream now.
Uh-oh.
So you gonna dress up in any cosplay of your choosing?
I thought about it.
Yeah, any cosplay of your choosing, and I noticed that works very well for females, especially if you got a lot of cleavage showing, and you play guitar in between turns.
So okay, funny enough, if you come to my Twitch stream, I do pluck the guitar a lot between some turns.
But now you should do it more aggressively to where like you taunting the motherfucker, be like, Dan.
Man, I don't have an amp anymore. I need to get an amp to do that. But yeah, there's a clip somewhere of me playing Puff the Magic Dragon with singing it. Pretty bad.
Oh, you need to dig that up.
And yeah, man, you know what? That actually might be the thing. Because like finding your voice, finding your different style on Twitch, man, it's been rough. Because I'm like, I used to be a guitarist who played off the stage, wore various costumes from like adult diapers to dresses to full on nudity. And it's like, man, then you're on Twitch and you're like, man, I'm just like talking.
Yeah.
It's so different. Like, where do you get that lightning in a bottle? Like, how do you get that back?
Well, shit, man, bring that energy to Twitch. That's all I can tell you.
And try to figure out like what my name is, and then how to do that.
Part, except for the naked part, you can't bring that to Twitch.
I mean, you can't even go shirtless on Twitch.
Oh, so now that clarified a lot of things for me because I do a lot of shirtless gaming. But then again, if I take my shirt off, it still looks like I still have a shirt on. So.
Right, same here. Like I'm gonna be in my fursuit.
Yeah,
I don't think I'm cosplaying.
See, there you go. I say I'm Sasquatch for this edition of. But yeah, I mean, I think that would be pretty cool. And then, we talk about Twitch and gaming and all that stuff. Twitch and Mixler and all those other platforms, they are not just limited to gaming.
Yeah, they have artists and man, you're like, what do I end up watching on these sometimes? Yeah,
because I mean, what really kind of brought me into Twitch a little bit more was wrestling. They host, they have
AEW, don't they?
Well, Impact Wrestling is on there.
Impact, that's what it is.
Impact is on there, and I think some of the AAA, the Lucha performers, they got shows on there.
Y'all gotta hook me up with that. I hang out on Impact sometimes.
Yeah.
So listening to y'all's podcast got me kind of on the edge of like getting back into wrestling. I'm just like, man, I used to watch this. Like I used to be so excited for this stuff. And
well, it's a weird time right now.
I feel like it's gotten better. People are a lot better at selling their opponents. Me and Delvin were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, I mean, yes, this is true. But it's only a select few. It's not every single person. But I believe as far as athleticism, I believe the caliber of wrestler that we have here today is leaps and bounds better than what we had in the past. I mean, but then again, the style has evolved from then to now.
And man, it's another thing because like watching wrestling, it being the over the top wrestling versus like almost it felt like it went into a phase of realism, and then I got out of that. And then it got into edginess, but now it's kind of like this realism, this athletic realism versus this over-the-top wrestling they still do.
Yeah.
And so, it's kind of in a weird spot where it's like half and half. They're kind of figuring out their spot.
Yeah, it's just like, it's real to a certain extent, but you still have people that portray characters rather than a real athletic person. To look up aid of reference, look up Orange Cassidy if you haven't heard of that guy.
Orange Cassidy, that name sounds familiar. I was watching some she was wrestling that Japanese wrestler, that female that was on WWE. Asuka?
Asuka, yeah.
Yeah, Asuka.
Mm-hmm.
There's one that she has like an Undertaker persona almost, where she has like her Legion of Evil bridesmaids.
Oh no, that's Su Yung.
Okay.
All right, Asuka.
Yeah, I was like,
Asuka is WWE, and
I was like, that's
Young,
not even WWE.
Yeah, Su Yung is she's currently wrestling in Impact right now, I think. But yeah, she's the one with the bridesmaids and the crazy face paint, and she looked like something out of the Grudge.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, she's trying to get that Grudge persona.
I seen her without the paint, and she looked damn good.
Oh man, it's nuts because the wrestling man finding his voice has gotten better though.
Yeah,
I'm into it now. I like what they're doing.
But like I'm saying, right now is a weird time because with what's going on in the world, social distancing,
oh
and
man,
all that stuff. They're currently putting on shows right now in empty arenas.
Yeah. Oh man, I haven't seen that. I've been watching replays and best of compilations of matches and stuff.
But you know what? It's kind of jarring, but I kind of enjoy it because I've seen tremendous matches being put on and the crowd would just be silent or just shit on it. And it would take me out of enjoying the match. Now you take the shitty ass crowd away from the whole thing. And it's fucking awesome. You just get what you're there for. And that's to see people wrestling. So I mean,
man, it's going to be interesting in the age of streaming.
Mm-hmm.
You know what hasn't come up in this age of streaming is the backyard wrestling.
I believe it's out there, but
and I'm like, man, you had all these people with trampolines doing wrestling, and back when before YouTube was a thing, you'd get these like funny compilations of people doing really stupid backyard wrestling. And it's like, oh my god. But then, where's that at? We got Twitch and Mixer. We got no horrible backyard wrestling leagues.
Yeah. So, I mean, I believe it's out there. We just haven't found it yet.
It has 2 viewers, right? And
because I mean, you mean to tell me in the age of, this age of social media to where we can live stream anything at any given time and say whatever and put whatever on the internet, that there is not a backyard wrestling federation just out there live streaming it up somewhere. It's there. We just haven't found it yet.
Man, now I want to go find that.
I mean, they got the boys running around in Walmart doing all the wrestling matches. You seen them, right?
No.
Oh man, get on Instagram. Look up Lord Adrian, and that's a Lord with a 0 instead of a O.
Okay.
Yeah, and they're doing full-on wrestling matches inside of Walmart and HEB and everywhere else they can go.
How's that work? They get thrown out pretty quick.
See, that's another thing that I was trying to inquire to myself. I got dude in I got a hold to him on Instagram in the chat.
Oh, well, here he is, yeah.
And I was trying to get him on the show, but it just hadn't been connecting and everything, man. But that was my thing, because they putting on pretty lengthy matches in there in a Walmart, going through tables and chairs and all kind of other stuff. And we don't have the footage of them getting kicked out or them leaving or running away or nothing like that.
Man, you'd think, man, they would show part of that footage when it happens.
Yeah.
That's funny on its own, people getting kicked out.
But then again, they might just be hoarding that for later on when they drop their Patreon.
Oh, shoot. That's not a bad idea.
Exactly. And then, they've just been playing replays right now, but I wonder how that has been for them, given the fact that, we're going through what we're going through right now. You're not supposed to be outside unless you're essential personnel. But hey, man. They are essential to our entertainment. So, they may be essential personnel in that aspect.
All right, me and the Lord Adrian thing.
Oh, yeah. You going through them?
Yeah, I found him on Twitter.
Oh, yeah. See,
shoot. All right.
And that's the thing, though. It's just like him and the other little kid, Superhuman. They've been doing this for years. They just getting picked up on everybody's radar now. Because those guys have been wrestling in Walmart or whatever. They've been doing that since 2016. Here it is, 2020. And people just...
I'm watching them in somebody's store, whether, I guess the guy's letting them do it in their store.
Yeah, that was at a Nissan car dealership jumping off the signs and shit.
Jeez. All right, well, there you go. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, man, it's funny because so back in the day, like, what, if you were watching wrestling's more popular, but I mean, you were still kind of made fun of, and then comic books. Yeah. And now it's like the age of comic books and wrestling again. Mm-hmm. And video games, man. It's all making its round.
I know. I wonder what's going to be the next thing. I mean, what are we doing right now in 2020 that, you know, we're teasing people about for liking and whatnot? I don't think there's too much of that really going on.
Furries.
Nah, I don't think nobody's teasing anybody about that because, I mean, you get your fur on.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really I don't know. People do down them when they hop into stuff. It's like, oh, come on, man. Like, are we still on this?
I don't know.
It's not that crazy anymore.
I don't know, but that's creeping its way into pop culture, man. Have you ever seen that show Preacher?
No.
Yeah.
So I don't really watch TV.
And I understand. I don't either. It just have to be, for me to watch TV, it has to be a recommendation from a couple of people for me to go and check it out. Otherwise, I'm not just watching TV week to week, watching shows and whatnot, because everything that I enjoy is from streaming. That's
the other thing is Netflix and Hulu, man. Like, we don't have to, we can binge watch everything and only watch the best of everything.
Yeah.
Although, man, we were talking about the other day how, like, Netflix and Hulu and all them, they're making, like, really trash movies now just to get content instead of bringing back, like, these really good old movies.
Well, I mean, that's the thing, though, man. It's just sometimes that's not their fault because a lot of that stuff is licensed and they got to buy that shit from somebody and pay somebody to get that stuff. So that's why a lot of these different streaming platforms are turning to making their own content. But as you said, I mean, all of them can't be winners.
And then, oh, man. And so, it's funny because I think Netflix and Hulu kind of brought down the supply and demand where you only had like one or two streaming services that had everything on it, and piracy kind of went down, but now everyone has a freaking streaming service.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, so I'm almost going to be paying for cable to get Disney, Hulu, Netflix. It's like, man, Shudder. Although,
yeah, I just got Shudder.
Y'all should check that out. Shudder might be free this month.
Yeah, Shudder is free for 30 days.
Coronavirus Shudder, man.
Mm-hmm.
Go watch Contagion. That's what everybody's talking about right now.
Yeah, my wife just finished watching that. Like, no shit. I was just like, oh, okay, you watching Contagion now? She's like, I don't remember watching this movie. I was like, I've seen it. Matt Damon, immune, his wife died, and people virus out of the city, yada, yada, yada.
I've been recommending the 1979 The Crazies by Romero.
Yeah. They did
a like,
remake.
Everybody gets quarantined and machine gunned down. I'm like, that's the one you need to be watching. That's the crazy one.
They also had the another series on, I don't know if it's Hulu or Netflix, called Cordon or Contaminated, something like that. It's
I don't know that one.
Yes, pretty much a virus get let out in the city, and they cordon off this whole section of the city, and they're not letting people out or in. And it's, you know, it's just hysteria because the people on the inside trying to get on the outside, and people on the outside trying to say to people on the inside, and, you know, it's just a whole bunch of shenanigans.
Oh, but yeah, man, Corona's been yeah. So we're finding things to do during Corona, man.
Mm-hmm.
In Texas, they're trying to say that governor, and I take media with a grain of salt. He might have said it though. Dan Patrick said, like, the grandparents are down to sacrifice themselves for the economy. You see that gossip or whatever that stuff going around about Dan Patrick?
Oh no, I didn't.
Oh, see, so apparently he said, like, grandparents are, like, fine sacrificing themselves for their grandchildren type thing during the corona. He said, I don't know what he said. I didn't actually watch the clip, but so I've been joking about grandparents, non-essential. Liquor stores, essential. I'm like, man, the things that we find value in a pandemic.
Yeah, I just last
we rated some vodka the other day for this pandemic.
Oh yeah, I finished a whole bottle of Johnny Walker the other day.
Yeah, we put down like half. Me and my girlfriend put down half a bottle of vodka last night.
Word. I mean, it is delicious. I mean, I have nothing against that.
Hey man, now just saying. Now with this pandemic going on, a good time to check out these digital card games.
Yeah, true. This is true. I'll revisit a lot of movies too. That you. I'm thinking. I'm highly debating of going through the Marvel catalog right now. Somebody posted the chronological order to watch the movies in, and I was just like, I might try to do that.
And Bri-Fi.
Yes.
You can get into Marvel Unlimited now too, and have like 25,000 comics.
Mm-hmm.
That's worth checking out too. I go through comic books a lot, so I'm a huge Spider-Man fan. Talking about Carnage, obviously.
Yes.
No, just putting that out there. Comic book apps. There's also Webtoons, which is free. It's like my indie comic. And then there's Shonen Jump has an app now too, so you can get your manga on.
Okay. So shit.
I've been catching up on my comic books. Although I'm not really catching up on anything because I'm still at work up until this week. I'm on limited shifts now.
Okay.
But we'll see how this pandemic goes. We might all be out of work.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not.
Oh yeah, you're essential no matter what.
Yeah. I'm not terribly sad if they make me stay home. I'm down with that.
I can put in the overtime right now, aren't they?
Yeah. I picked up some overtime this weekend.
Oh, that's not.
Yeah, it did. I didn't want to, but I was just like, And it was disguised as training, so I had to go because if I don't have the training, it expires and I could lose my job. So,
yeah, I don't know if your listeners know what you do.
Yeah, Security. I secure the things.
So. Yeah, security, I guess, is getting overtime right now. That's somebody that's going to be in work.
Well, it's different for us because we do security for facilities. So,
I know you're from like security in general. That seems like they're still going to be working.
Well, that's the thing. It just depends on the type of security you're doing. Because I mean, I do official security for facilities and personnel. So if yours is just strictly personnel based, and the personnel is not required to come to work, then you don't have to be there because you are only there because personnel is there. But if yours is just facilities based to where if the building is there, you need to be there, then you're stuck.
What you're telling me is I need to go rob some of these,
I cannot,
I neither condone nor.
Yes, I cannot. All those thoughts and opinions expressed by this individual is not those of expressed by the Random Rounds with Rob podcast. So I had to throw that out there. That's my disclaimer. But yeah, man, it is try to stay safe. And if you're listening, I appreciate you for joining us on this journey of card games and freaking social media and connecting via not touching people because you're going to get the eye boogers and it's going to infect you and you're going to cough and die. But
hey, perfect time to do a podcast.
Exactly. This is the first time to pick up a hobby. You throw yourself into something that you always wanted to do right now because you ain't got shit else to do. Painting. Yeah. Yeah. Well, shit. If I can go to Lowe's and get me some drywall, I can start building some shit in my house. Build me a fort and shit. Like Fortnite. But before we go, once again, let everybody know where they can find you on social media, all your platforms, your Twitch streams, all those things.
All right, so I'm Maximum Carnage. I more commonly go by Maximum Carnage HS for Hearthstone. Mm-hmm. So you can find me on Twitch TV/Maximum Carnage HS. You can find me on Instagram at Maximum Carnage HS. Twitter, Max Carnage HS. They already had Maximum Carnage when I did that account. Then you have, I'm going to be doing work for the Inked gaming blog. That's inked like you ink tattoo, but it's inked as an ink art. And then also Team Rank Star, which has a website, teamrankstar.com. And they have your back on pretty much every digital card game that's out there. And some physical ones, too.
Word.
And, that's where you can find me.
Word. So, yep.
Eventually here I want to get the head of Team Rank Star on your podcast.
Yes.
He goes by Aphelion.
Yeah, send this
on
punk
the internet.
Send this punk ass over here. I already talked.
I've been trying to send you people, man. They always back out for whatever reason.
You know what? I made it too convenient for them. That's exactly what it is. Because you've been through the process. I send you a link. You pick a day that works with your schedule. It automatically schedules it. It sends you reminders and shit. And that's it. That's all you gotta do. But when I send that link to somebody, they be like, "Oh yeah," and I never hear from them again. Is like I gotta tell motherfuckers what to do. I was like, "Hey, bitch, you gonna be here this day at this time, and I don't want to hear no goddamn lip about it." Now, if I do that, I'll be a dick. But some people need that shit because I give it to them so easily. I put it on a platter. All they gotta do is 3 clicks, maybe 2 at the most, and they don't do the shit. Sorry, sons of bitches.
And then, man, we need to, I'm just going to put this out there. Me, you, and Delvin need to get on the Casanova podcast soon.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm waiting to spar off against that maroon-faced motherfucker.
Hashtag punch Delvin. Yeah. Punch Delvin's face.
Exactly. Speaking of Delvin Cox, this has turned into another Delvin Cox advertisement. I think it's, what is it? I'm pull it up on his Twitter so I don't quoted inaccurately, which I should because he's a punk ass motherfucker. But I'm just playing. In case y'all didn't know, I mean, there's no hate or beefing between me and Delvin. It's just how we talk to each other. That's my homie. But here we go. Okay, announcement time. April 2nd, he is celebrating his 40th birthday, and to celebrate, he wants to do a roast of himself. So he's requesting that people send him audio, video of us roasting the shit out of his maroon ass face. So if you want to participate, hit Delvin Cox up on Twitter at Delvin_Cox. That's DELVIN __ under the store _Cox. That's COX, not COCKS. Oh yeah, that's another one. I'm gonna start using that. Delvin Cox, like a dick, because that's what you look like. You dickhead motherfucker, you. But yeah, support Delvin Cox. You can find him on all the platforms. He's a good brother, and I enjoy dunking on him and shit. So there you go. Hook him up for his 40th birthday. And speaking of birthdays, mine's is March 29th, which is this weekend. This is Sunday as we record this. I am looking for questions from you, the listeners, for the special edition of Ask Miss B-Rob. So if you got questions that you want to ask my wife, it can be any topics or subjects or whatever. Nothing is taboo. Nothing is off the table for her to answer it on the show. We're going to be recording that this Sunday, March 29th, on my birthday, and it'll come out the same day. We might even do it live.
So when's this episode coming out?
It might be out this Sunday as well, too. So you're getting a double dose. I mean,
you're plugging something for something that's happening this week.
I know, because I it's weird because I don't know when. Sometimes I don't know when these episodes come out, and it's just been a thing. I just say shit, and I hate time stamping stuff, but I wind up doing it more than ever now. But like, fuck it. So if you're listening to this might be a double dose of my a regular Sunday edition of the Random Rounds with Rob and the special edition of Ask Miss B-Rob. Because regardless of when my birthday is in the year or the month or whatever, that episode is coming out, and it just so happens to be on a Sunday. Before you go, do you have any random questions for Mrs. B-Rob?
Shoot, man, I'm gonna think about that and I'll get back to y'all.
Yeah, word. Don't be like them punk motherfuckers that can't click on my link and schedule a goddamn appointment. Say you're gonna do some shit and don't do it. Sorry, bastards. Yeah, I'm talking to you, whoever listening that done that shit. Sons of bitches. But yeah, anyway, you've been a guest of the show. And as it is for anybody that has been on, the door is always open for you to come back to talk some shit, promote your next big thing or whatever have you.
Now I got to get on that Delvin podcast.
Oh yeah, get over there. Before you get on the podcast, go ahead and do what he asking and send him a roast. So roast his ass and then see if you can get on the show. Or you can get on the show, then roast his ass after.
All right. Thanks for having me, Rob.
And that was the homie Cletus, even though that's not his real name. Yeah, look, let me tell you what happened. So I met this guy in person or whatever. I met his old lady, little kid and everything. One of his friends, his old lady, they kid, and we all hung out at the Southern Star Brewery and whatnot, played video games and talked about a whole bunch of bullshit and whatnot. And I'm so used to chatting with him online that, you know, when I met him in person, you know, I heard his name uttered, like his real name, and it just didn't compute into my brain to save. So then we got into it on here pre-gaming before we start to record. And I asked him his name and we got to talking about the Carnage, because that's the name, Cletus Cassidy, you know, and we got to talking about Carnage and all kind of other stuff. And he forgot to tell me his goddamn name again. I had a MySpace moment all over again. This shit happened to me many moons ago before I met Mrs. B. Rob, to where I met this girl online and all I knew by her was her freaking screen name and shit. So when it came down to meet her in person, I didn't remember or know her name. All I knew was the screen name. And then we just had a long roundabout of a conversation until she mentioned herself in third person. And that's how I figured out how her name was, what her name was. Goddamn, I said a whole bunch of who, what, when, why, and where. But it was great to have the homie on. I apologize for any audio difficulties we may have had. And it was weird because I always talk about how I hate time stamping and dating shit because it usually fails on my side. I was plugging a show that is today, as this episode airs, as I recorded March 29th, which is my 38th birthday. Yay! Woo, got some applause up in here. Thank you. Hold on. Yeah. Turn up. Speaking of turning up, and you know, I'm still going to plug it, but you know, it just depends on when you listen to it. You can listen to this Monday and be too late. But as I record this right now, March 29th, on my birthday, we are hosting the 4th annual Ask Miss B. Rob this evening at 6 p.m. Central Time. So, I mean, this is just a capsule on your time capsule for you here, or whatever. You can reference this episode later. But yeah, once every year, my wife graces me with her presence for my birthday, and she answers questions from you all, the listeners, the fans, or whatever you want to call yourself. My motherfuckers, my Rob zombies, as Dags would say. But yeah, we're doing that tonight, and she's going to be taking the Pocky One Chip Challenge. Now, everybody talking about, oh, she's going to die and all this other stuff. I don't think so. Because, like I said, let me put it into perspective for you. Pocky makes a whole bag of ghost pepper chips. I mean, it's probably not as hot as the one chip challenge chip they put in there, but she eats ghost pepper chips. And with these ghost pepper chips, she uses hot salsa to dip those ghost pepper chips in. And the salsa, the hot salsa, she puts in Texas Pete hotter hot sauce. So she mixes all that shit together in the salsa to eat those ghost pepper chips. So that is her heat tolerance. So this one chip challenge, I think she gonna crush it. But then again, you know, I have never seen anyone via the internet, of course, nor in person, to eat this chip and be calm and cool and collected after that. So it'll be revealed tonight. We're going to do it live on YouTube and Instagram, I think. Might Facebook, one of the three, but YouTube for sure. So that'll be tonight, the night of March 29th. And yeah, so I just wanted to go ahead and get this out of the way because I'll be drinking copious amounts of alcohol and whatnot. I was supposed to do this yesterday and have it already up and out, but damn, I was hanging up a TV and I drilled too many holes in my wall. So you can see a little snippet of that on my Instagram, which you can follow at the 3R Show on Instagram. And let me get the rest of it out of the way. You can also follow me on Twitter at 3R Show, and Facebook. Search for the Random Rounds with Rob, or facebook.com/3R Show. You can find that YouTube 3R Show. And for anything that I may have missed, once again, you can go to randomrob.com. You can find many different ways to help support the show. The Patreon, you can buy merchandise, which as of March 29th, I'm doing a little Sally sale to celebrate my birthday. And you can cash at me some things. I mean, it is my birthday as this is being recorded, March 29th. You can send me some birthday monies if you like. And those free ways that you can help support the show is to write reviews, 5 stars preferably. But if you got anything other than that, leave some feedback so I can help adjust and make the show better. My goal by today, I mean, it's not over yet. You can get down till midnight. But my goal was to have 100 Apple Podcast reviews by today. You know, still got a couple hours left. And we did not make it there. We got to 95, but which is very good. I'm very appreciative of all those because I went from, I think, 54 reviews to 95. So, I mean, that's a hell of a jump. And I appreciate everybody for doing those and whatnot. And there were some people that didn't have an Apple device. I don't understand why you don't, but they did write me reviews somewhere else. So, I mean, it could very well be over 100 reviews in total, but it wasn't 100 reviews for Apple Podcasts. But once again, like I said, very appreciative of all those who contributed. I appreciate you all. And yeah, it's been great. Oh, also, I want to shout out to Lou from the Everything Podcast, and Roman and Nick from the Garbled Podcast. We recorded some episodes a while back and they haven't came out yet because I've been having guests on that have been talking about topical things that I wanted to kind of put out right now. And the episodes kind of been on the back burner, and we recorded those a while back. But those episodes have been out since we've recorded on the YouTube page. So you can actually see those interviews and everything. So those have been out for a while. They just haven't been on the podcast stream proper. So shout out to those guys for being patient with me and everything. But you can hear and see those interviews on the freaking YouTube page. Yeah, I think that's all I got. I'm going to spend the rest of these hours until 6 p.m. Central Time, where we'll be live on Podbean and everywhere else, taking your questions and just acting the ass. And that's all I got for now. I appreciate you all, and I'll see you next time.